Hello, everybody. Happy Monday night. Give you all a few seconds to hop on here. See, we got a bunch of people on here already. That's great. Thank you all for being on and watching tonight. We're going to be doing a St. Lawrence event week kickoff sort of discussion. But first, we wanted to, or I wanted to, as you notice, it's just me here at the moment. Take a moment to just kind of talk about the current state of things in elite kayak fishing. I don't think it's any secret that the numbers aren't what they used to be, what they've been in the past couple of years, and we've struggled a little bit. We've struggled quite a bit, actually. So this season has really been a challenge for us to kind of get through. Of course, we've had to cancel an event, which we haven't had to do, but over the past 4 years, we've put a lot of time and effort. Financial investment into EKF. It's been really tough. It's something that has become a full-time job, on top of our full-time jobs and our lives and stuff. So, we've been really taking some time to think about EKF and reflect on just like the past 4 years and, where we've made the right moves, where we've made the wrong moves. I think, it's this season, especially our schedule, we knew we took some chances and some risks. So, it's just been tough to kind of get through this. So we've been just kind of thinking and talking as a group about the, what we're going to do next, if, whatever we decide to do next and all that. So instead of just me blabbering on about it, because it's really tough to articulate this, EKF's been a big part of my life and Ken's life and John's life and Chris's life and a lot of your lives for many years. And, we have a video prepared. I'll let you all watch it. Go ahead, John. What do you think? We get him? Oh, Chris, where are you going, Chris?
What is this guy doing?
Chris's debut on the podcast.
Welcome, everybody.
In the basement.
Every intro is. What is he doing?
We are more professional by the way. He's gone. He's gone. All right.
All right. Let's ignore him for the time being. But what Adam said at the beginning of this episode is very true.
Yeah, it's mostly
this year has been really tough for us at EKF. I mean, the numbers are showing we haven't had the participation that we've had in years past, and we've been really trying. There's a lot of you who are probably watching now that, have come to every event, signed up, participated, watched every episode, and why we're doing this is for you guys. So we basically sat down, had a meeting, and we're like, what can we do? So then we're like, let's just make a badass schedule. and hopefully you guys like it. The dates and everything are still to be determined. The months are. Hopefully we don't have to move anything around, but yeah, it's a pretty amazing stacked schedule. I'm very excited for it. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think one thing though is to go back to, first of all, that video gets me excited and has arguably saved next season. But for ourselves, which is kind of funny. But there's some really true aspects to it. And so when I say I'm excited about next year, it's an understatement. But one of the things, to John's point, when we're putting the schedule together, is we are basically saying, and just in full transparency, that if like this schedule doesn't get numbers, then that we can't get numbers, right? Like this, if we need to cut out basically pull out all the stops in terms of what it is that attracts people, the tournaments we've had in the past that have been successful from a numbers perspective. EKF has, like what I was saying before, EKF has been, and I want to get back to the schedule, but EKF has become a full-time job, honestly, for Ken and I since the second season, and then it became one for John. And well, welcome, Chris. That's a hell of an introduction, but it's going to become a full-time job for you as well. But it has become, and I think in an amazing way, and in many ways, thanks to everybody who has supported us, it has become a production. I started driving a minivan to fishing tournaments, because I wanted to be able to bring whatever the heck I wanted to tournaments. And now I'm really thankful I did, because we need the minivan. Ken drives a big SUV. John drives a truck. Chris drives a truck. I think if any of us have to get a new car, I think my options would be based around EKF. Like it's that, but EKF doesn't buy us cars. Like these are passion projects. These are things that we do because we believe in it. And, we gave up this year. We made the ultimate sacrifice for tournament anglers, and we gave up competing to do the broadcast. It's been a blast. It's been an experience that I've never had. Ken and I weren't really sure if we'd be able to talk to each other that long. Turns out we talk a lot. So who knew? But it's been really fun, and we've really enjoyed it. But we have to be realistic and look at our numbers and wonder, like, why aren't we fishing? That would help our numbers. This week, I think, there's no more timely of no better time to discuss that. We'll do that in a little bit specifically, but it's a lot, and I think everyone knows, like, we've all been around the tournament scene for a long time. It's tough to give up. We aren't retired. We just believe in EKF. So, I don't want to keep rambling on about that, but that's just the kind of reality. I don't think it's much of a secret in terms of, I think it's clear that our numbers are down. I think most people have noticed. To be honest, the amount of times between the four of us, we've said, like, one of the highest rated bass fisheries in the country, and we have 19 people signed up. And that's, that's tough. And it does become tough to make the decision to, be away from our homes and our families. And if people don't want it, then we won't do it. But anyways, we're not saying this to make anyone feel guilty. We're just, we believe in being honest and upfront with everybody. We don't make money from EKF. I think if we became profitable today, it would take still a long time for Ken and I to be even. Like from the very first season, a lot of that was funded by us personally. Like it was just a tough thing. So anyways, I'm not going to belabor that point. It was something like we were happy to do because we got to compete. We made this amazing schedule for this season coming up. And honestly, the one we have now, we've all I don't know if Chris get to go with us, but John, Ken, and I fished the Kennebec and had a blast. And so like we want people to have we went and fished that place instead of a day on Messalonsky or Great Pond pre-fishing, just to because we kept hearing about it, but we had all the reservations and questions and concerns that you all had. We got out for like 3 hours, and I think between the three of us put up 35, 40 fish. Like there was a lot of fish. in all kinds of places, all types of fish. Anyways, so like we thought for sure we had something, and so clearly we took some risks. Maybe that didn't work out. I don't know, but so again, next year is going to be like kind of it's a big test, and it's also our 5th year. So to get the numbers up, to get our participation up, our just to get EKF back to where we believe it can be, and to celebrate 5 years, we're like, hell, let's just pull out the stops and let's go for broke on this schedule. And I think we definitely accomplished that. So anyways, I'll stop hogging the mic. Go ahead, Ken.
No, I mean, it's a great schedule. For me personally, I would love to see people commit less to the schedule and more to EKF, right? Because what you didn't mention is that, the St. Lawrence River, we're fishing out of Messina because the town of Messina came to us and asked us to bring an event there. If you look at this schedule, last week was a MLF Bass Pro Tour event. Then this week is EKF, and then next week is the Toyota Series. Weekend after that is the Cash and Rods Tour. We're sandwiched in between some huge events, and these guys asked us to come to them, expecting us to bring a good number of anglers. And so, tourism money from tourism bureaus helps us, so we don't have to, it doesn't have to come out of our pocket and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's where we would love to be there. And I mean, to have 19 people signed up for the St. Lawrence River, that's tough, but even last year we had 49, which is, again, that was baffling as well. I don't know if it's the river, because it's not far. It's, it's relative to everywhere else we fished. Raystown was, again, probably the farthest we've ever gone, but that was like 8 hours from me in, southern Massachusetts. For me, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see people commit to EKF, and no matter where we go, because I've talked about this before. It's like I think a lot of people maybe look at these trips as more vacations, as opposed to they're going to compete, and I think the priority should be flipped for a lot of people. Like, you're going to compete, so it doesn't matter where you go, so that's why I would like to see the numbers up for like a St. Lawrence River or even the Kennebec. That's another tourism bureau that came to us. So again, if we don't have, nobody signed up for that one yet, but if that's our if we're not putting people on the St. Lawrence River, it's kind of my
hopes aren't high.
Hopes aren't high that there's going to be a ton of people for the Kennebec, but I think it's going to be great. Like I thought Raystown would have been great. So I don't know. It's
they're not just starting to the dartboard, right? Like these lakes are embedded.
Right. Yes, exactly. Raystown, we weren't working with a tourism bureau. We just wanted to do something different than the Susquehanna. Susquehanna might be great, but also at the same time, it doesn't suit everybody because, I didn't go to the bass event there because I only have the Jackson Nar. I don't have another kayak. And that I guess the water came up a little bit, so I would have been okay. But, if it was like that the year that John and I went and it was 6 inches of water and I had the big rig, it was a nightmare, dragging that across rock, So it's also a fishery that it possibly some people can't fish it. So anyway, but long story short, we looked at Raystown to try to just do something different and hit Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is part of the Northeast. So we want to do.
We also listened to feedback, right? We got
exactly. We did the research. Yep, yeah. We did the research. We talked to the local bass clubs that fish there and everything.
No, but we got feedback from competitors about like going to these spots that are perceived like we try. One thing we try to do a lot is listen to feedback, and we kept hearing like we're going to these same types of places. We're going to forward-facing places.
Yes,
we're going to this. Yep. We're going to that. And so we listened this year, and like I think we'd be lying if we said we didn't feel like we got burnt a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like we
did.
We listened, like maybe
because most of the people that were saying we need to go to different places, they didn't fish our different places.
They didn't fish where they got forward-facing,
and some even complained. You know what I mean, about those places. So it's kind of like, again, maybe we don't, we can't please everybody. So from now on, we're probably not going to.
Well, let's
listen to that.
So let's just so we pulled out all the stops here. Like if this don't work, like what are we doing, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to beat up this one.
I think next year's schedule. I mean, just the locations in general. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that want to fish those events. But again, I would like people to fish EKF, to commit to EKF. You know, that's really what any kind of trail needs, because it is a business on a certain level, right? You know, and that you know, beginning of the year, okay, I'm going for EKF. That's the trail I'm going to fish. That's what we need. That sort of thing.
Yeah, but we need the numbers to justify the sponsorship request and to justify it for them and to be able to maintain the experience. It's to say it gets stressful, and I think, you know, we'll go back to the new schedule, the next year's schedule here, but I think it's important to say, like, it gets really stressful and hectic and down to the wire more times than I think people realize. That you know, that there's been a couple of times where I'm like, my own personal credit card is halfway out of the wallet. You know what I mean? Because, like, we're not going to be able to have this event. And like, our sponsors are going to come through. It's just getting tough out there. And I know things are tough in general, but like, we need people to believe in EKF, because I think your point is spot on, and to push EKF, you know, and if I don't say push like always be promoting us or whatever, but we need people that are committing to your point, Ken, where we go, because without that commitment, we don't go. Like, we don't have a huge bank account. We're pretty much paycheck to paycheck, you know, so to speak, when it comes each year. And, you know, so anyways, I think hopefully you all get the point, but we have, and I will say, like, in many cases, like, reluctantly, we have said, let's give it one more go. The way in which we do that, you know, is really going to be based on a couple of things, like how we see the rest of this season go. How we're able to raise funds for next year, if we are. I know to Jake's comment there, I know the price of things have gone up, and we are aware that EKF has gone up as well. We were so hesitant to even do membership fees, because, you know, we want to remain accessible. And what folks don't realize is, like, we were making all these plans for EKF with zero commitment of funds, zero like guarantee to have the funds to do those things, right? And so the membership fees assured that we would have a somewhat of fund, so a little bit of funding every year, like a minimum level of funding, and that's why we did it. So we know that the price of things have gone up, like, we feel that, and we don't want to. I don't want to sound like we're not sympathetic to it, but, like, this stuff is, you know, the broadcast this year, which we're so proud of. I think it's been an amazing thing. You know, that we had to invest in some technology, and we did it very modestly. You know, like, we're getting by on, you know, it's working out great. And I don't want to insult it. I think it's a great setup, and I'm definitely not insulting John's work, but we're getting by on stuff that John happened to have. You know, some things that John happened to have, some things that are hodgepodge together of our own, and then some investments that we made. But if I know there's a couple of comments about Ken and I's chairs in the broadcast, but it's a great example. They're $25 Walmart chairs, like lawn chairs. Like, so, right, yeah. We're waiting for the leather thrones, but we're not there yet, right? So the point we're making is, like, we have to do these things, like, we're trying our best to be as efficient, cost effective, and, you know, anyways, live within our means, so to speak. But our means are very, they go back and forth. Anyway,
there you go. That's a little in scoop on the tournament director's point of view.
I expect 50 registrations for St. Lawrence by the morning. So. No, but I'm excited about this schedule. It was, like, actually, like, kind of like therapeutic to put together, because we're just, like, throwing out the names. We're like, yeah. And I think, to me, the most exciting part of this schedule, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think, but I think Winnie in October is, I don't know that anyone else has done it. I think it's going to be awesome. I think you take Winnie, everyone likes it. Great fish. I thought our broadcast was great. I thought that tournament to watch all day was fantastic. Take that and subtract boat traffic. What do we think? Come on.
You think October and Winnie's not going to have boat traffic?
They're from
Not
us.
nearly as much.
They're gone.
They're
gone.
I mean,
The Flatlanders are gone.
not nearly as much as probably still a ridiculous amount of boat traffic. You know,
I mean, it'll be. I'm sure.
I don't know how it'll be in
highs out there.
October. I don't know how.
I don't think I've ever been out there in October.
But I have no faith that it'll
Ask
be.
Jake Angeles. Jake will know.
Yeah, he might know.
I think the way we have this schedule laid out is unbelievable, and I'm so jealous of everybody who's fishing it next year. I mean, start off with Cayuga in May. We all know the caliber of fishing on Cayuga. We've done it in the past. We've seen the numbers, especially in May. And then we've fished Champlain in the past in June, and it's lights out again in June.
I think we had two almost 100-inch bags that year, right? Between Cayuga and Champlain. I think Champlain's were bigger than Cayuga, like edged out by a little bit, I thought.
And then for us, new territory is the Susky. It's like the mighty Susquehanna. Everybody loves Susquehanna. Bass just had 250 anglers there. And, in order to be in the top 10, you had to have over 92 inches the first day. And then it was just ridiculous the second day. So, like, how many people had 90-inch bags of Mean River smallmouth for that tournament? And then August, George is another staple in the Northeast. We have great events every time we go there. It's a beautiful place with phenomenal smallmouth fishing, and if you can find larges too. And then September, which is usually the time we go to Messalonskee and Great Pond. It's the time that we've gone there in the past for multiple years now, and that's a crowd favorite. That one's a lot of fun.
If you haven't fished either of those two in September, like, you're really missing out. Like, I think Messalonskee is one of those places, and honestly, Great Pond lesser so now thanks to Bassmaster. But Messalonskee, I think, is such a sleeper when it comes to the fishing there. So if you haven't had a chance and like you're looking at it and like how is that fitting in with the rest of the schedule, it holds its own in this schedule. Like hundreds of fish are put up in tournaments on Messalonskee, and it doesn't even flinch. Like, the quality of fish there is fantastic.
Everything in that area is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right next to Messalonskee, Salmon Lake, McGrath Pond, they're connected. Smaller but amazing.
Jake says it's quiet that time of year. Winnie, I'm guessing. Sorry,
super quiet. He said, "Wow, that's surprising." Well, that's good.
It's all Massachusetts people. You guys get cold and go home.
Here's the thing: everybody's telling us to fish. Do you think our wives would maybe do the broadcast?
Yeah. What people don't, I guess some people might, but the amount of time and effort it takes to set up a production, to hold a production, and to edit all of the video that we take throughout the week. All of those interviews need to be diced up, sorted about, and then edited to a production standard. We film like usually in the first part of the day, the first 3 hours or so, 4 hours, and then we're editing up until nighttime. The amount of work it takes to make these productions work, it's a lot of work, and we won't have time to fish. And if we want to make the best, the quality, the best production for this broadcast and for EKF, and to highlight our anglers, it's just not going to work. I wish it could. I absolutely really wish. I mean, look at this friggin' schedule, but it takes a crazy amount of time on the back end to get things set up. And so
we wouldn't be able to do the broadcast at all if we fished. I mean, it was, when we did even getting to the awards was tough. Adam a lot of times would get off the water early, so we would have to really scale back anything that we do. I mean, even like awards, we'd have to do it at like a boat ramp or something. If we, we never wanted Adam to get off the water early. That's not really fair.
I mean, I did it voluntarily. Nobody forced me to do it.
You know, trust me, I would love to fish it because I want to. You know, like I was saying earlier, it's kept me from fishing like the national trails, and I miss that. You know, since the demise of KBF, I haven't committed to Bassmaster or Hobie. You know, and I would love to, and it's a lack of time. You know, these events, we use up the same amount of time we would for a regular event. You know, leaving on Wednesday, Tuesday night. You know, and then we leave
tomorrow. It's like for this one, we're leaving tomorrow. We're leaving Tuesday for this one. So like
tomorrow
the longer ones, we leave a little bit longer, and we leave a little bit earlier. And you know, we still work. I just got back from Milwaukee this morning. You know, I try to spend time with the friends and family as well. It's like it's just a lot. So the broadcast, like that first one, and like again, the experience has just been fantastic doing it, but you know, we were doing voiceover work at 11:30 for the broadcast.
Yeah.
And we're getting more efficient and stuff with it, but it's a lot of work. It's all or nothing with the broadcast. Like this podcast is something we could continue doing even if we fished, but the broadcast, I mean, we might be able to produce some content, but if we want to compete in any level of seriousness, like we can't be going to the ramps and sacrificing that, you know, like we've been there since 6 and we're getting interviews with everyone that's there. We can't sacrifice those hours, you know? But you know, regardless,
hey, listen, if there's any broadcasters out there or budding broadcasters that want to do it, you know,
some practicing weathermen.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah, for free, right? Yeah, maybe dinner. We'll buy you dinner because we're broke.
So one thing real quick, because I think enough people are asking to see the schedule again. John, can we start that like partially through, or do we have to watch the whole thing again? We can make people sad again and then bring them back. We've already made us sad again, but we don't have to do it just yet. Before we do that, John. Sorry. So people, even though people are making fun of, I enjoy seeing people make fun of Chris just staring at us. Chris Pendergast is here because Chris Pendergast is now part of the EKF staff, helping us out. I don't know if we formally have introduced him yet, but as such, he's entitled to a square on our podcast screen and occasionally the right to speak if he would choose. So, welcome, Chris.
Thank you. No, I'm just listening. I'm just listening to you guys. I know how hard you guys do what you do because I'm most of the time in the house with you. I have been competing in EKF every year except for this year. I've had some.
You've been an honorary staff for a few years now. You've been a big help to us.
Quite a bit setting up stuff, carrying stuff, whatnot. Yeah,
you and Sarah.
Yeah, you guys do a lot, and I just however I can help you out. But if I had to say anything to the guys that are watching and anybody is, let us know what your reservations are, why the attendance is down, and let us know what we can do to make you guys all come out and fish these events, because that schedule next year is lights out. I don't understand why the numbers would be down.
Yeah, we do have more ideas too. We have some more ideas for incentives. You know, those things are to be determined at this point. But we have more in the sort of more in the think tank going here. So the schedule was something that honestly we're hoping to excite you all, but you know, it kind of gives us a little bit of a boost as well. So, all right, ready to play it again, John?
What a freaking schedule.
Hopefully everybody saw it that time. That's pretty darn good.
Let's just hope Champlain doesn't have 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds this time around.
I'm quitting so I can fish. So if anybody wants to take my job,
He's half kidding, by the way.
No one wants that.
We got 2 Mike M.
I don't know who the other Mike M is.
We got 2 M. Yeah, we got 2. I don't know.
I'm guessing the one without a profile picture on YouTube is Mike Marco.
It's Marco.
So. Yeah.
Though if he makes any more kids, he won't be able to fish either.
No more kids.
to the other Mike M, if you're just joining us, I would really encourage you to go back. We talk about the entry fees and the cost of them. Like, we totally understand that, but I would definitely take a look at that or take a listen to that because I understand.
Sorry.
Well, we should go back to that in a second. But one of the things that I think is important, like when it comes to entry fees, I don't know if we've ever really said, like we view, or like our vision for EKF is, to be that that regional style trail, not like the local trail where it's, cheaper entry fees and stuff. And so there's a reason for our entry fees and the experience that we want to provide. And there's like a really hard reality with what you can provide with, $75 entries when it comes to payouts and haul rentals, equipment, and all that stuff. So
the increase.
I don't want to belabor that point anymore because honestly, I don't know what to say. We can't do much about it. But
the increase in entry fee was really to kind of cover some of the stuff that was coming out of pocket. Fees for this, fees for that. Obviously, like you were saying, rental fees, trophies, things like that. Same with the membership money. Because it's really expensive to run this. People don't realize that. So we're
also an LLC.
We wanted to.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we wanted to keep the payouts the same, right? So we increased it a little bit. It was $20, I believe. It was just $20, and then therefore still $130 goes into the pot. Which kept the entry fee or the payouts the same. So that was honestly,
but to that end, Ken, if folks don't want, like when it comes to payouts, like I feel confident we could put our payouts up against anybody, any of the bigger trails when it comes to the percentage of the entry fees that go to our payouts.
For sure.
We can't anyway, we don't need to belabor that. I think if somebody that doesn't know, I don't know, maybe it hasn't fished with us, and I'm sorry that's too much, honestly, but but we're trying our best. Anyway, so this new schedule, I'm pumped. I hope everybody else is, and something that I'm actually really excited for now that I'm home, now that I made it home on the plane today, St. Lawrence River. Should we get into that?
St. Lawrence River.
St. Lawrence River, Messina, place we've never been.
Why doesn't anybody? We're
gonna try to not make this an entire gripe episode, but we could.
I'm genuinely curious what it is about that river that is keeping people. Because we know
it's the highest rated fishery on our schedule,
right? And we know there's some issues, right? There's all kinds of reasons why people aren't fishing this year. It's the economy. I think up here in particular in the Northeast, I think there's some there's a little maybe too much division amongst some of the local trails and things like that. And I wish kind of that would change. There was some drama surrounding some people, and we'll say EKF, me in particular, which I think had a negative effect. That, of course, has all been proven incorrect. But just things like that. I wish the region in general, I won't mention that, but there's people out there that have made comments. They were making comments about the river itself last year, about how it's too dangerous, and you're gonna die if you fish it, and things like that. And none of those people fished it, right? So there's all kinds of things. But I don't think all of that explains why the numbers are so low, because it's supposed to be. It's a smallmouth Disneyland. It's world-class smallmouth fishing, and as I showed, largemouth as well if you can find them. I put up 92 inches of largies.
That's all I got last year was largemouth.
Different stretch of the river, but I mean, it's baffling to me.
I'm hoping to not lose a transmission on the way this year. Something new.
That would be good.
Driving up there without breaking down in the Amish country. That was an
I am not.
Last year was very expensive. No. Oh, boy.
The U-Haul Express. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was nice driving a U-Haul around, and by that I mean no. I remember my ears were ringing for 2 days. I didn't realize how loud it is inside of a U-Haul cab. And then get out of it, you're just kind of what is it was weird. But anyway, yeah, it was a very expensive trip for me. Didn't get to fish as much. Did have fun though. It was a good time. And I honestly really enjoyed there's a couple we all had the experience of the barge going by. Like that was fun and not nearly as bad as really not bad at all. Like they didn't create like a huge wake. Like it was a really cool fishery. I didn't have heavy enough weights for some of the current, but you know that was one thing I learned.
Those big boats look scary. We learned that on the St. Clair. John, we saw that first one coming, and we saw the wave that it was pushing. You know, it was like 10 feet up the front of that boat, and we expected a tidal wave to come. We turned our kayaks. We're like, you know, clenching the butt cheeks and everything. There was nothing. And it's just what it is. It's because they just move so slow that water just lays down. You know, it just comes right off the side of it and it just lays down and it leaves like no wave whatsoever. So it was an experience the first time we saw that out there. So we knew on the St. Lawrence that it wasn't going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean there is current, and you don't even really notice it,
right?
Too much.
If you're paddling, you might find some areas, you know. And I've heard up north it can be shallower, so you probably have a little bit more current in certain areas. But there is a ton of backwater. There's 2 additional rivers. There's the Grass River, Racket River. Those are lazy rivers, I guess, if you want to call it that. You know, it's got a little current, but it's not moving. And you know, according to what we've heard, the fantastic fishing in both.
It's supposed to be light.
No,
those rivers, those tributaries are supposed to be lights out. I mean,
yeah.
I really hope people explore them and not just, you know, just the river. If you have an extra day,
we're fishing. Where are we fishing?
I want to hit the Main Lake. It might be a little far, but the Main Lake.
Main Lake?
Ontario.
You keep breaking up. What are you saying? What's he saying?
No, Ontario. Can you hear me? Am I there? Hello?
I can hear you.
What happened? What are we doing?
Saying Ontario.
Yeah,
What's going on?
Ontario.
Is Russia attacking?
Are you broken?
Oh, now Ken's broken. All right. Bye, Ken.
No, I'm up.
We can hear him. We can hear him.
I thought he was messing around.
I know.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
That's okay. I guess
I think you're still on here.
Right,
You just can't hear us.
Is it just me?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. I had signals to him. Those who are listening are all nodding.
What is going on right now?
I don't know. His audio changed to something, or his mic changed to something.
Is it just me, or is it everybody?
You. Anyways, I'll try to salvage what's left of what's going on right now.
Are we back?
You've never left. You've been
everybody's
here
frozen but me. It's just me. What in the world?
Everybody's frozen. Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of enjoying it. I hope this is like, you know, this is like right the night before an EKF event. It's sort of like, all right. St. Lawrence, we're excited about it. We might need to mute Ken while he rediscovers himself.
I don't think he can see us. He'll come back. But anyway.
I think you were saying bye.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of you. Like, I really hope more people sign up, because I had so much fun on the river last year, just exploring this cool body of water. It's different than most places you'll get to fish. And, you know, the genetics of the smallmouth there are just insane. They're mutant smallmouth. So I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you guys have a blast fishing it. And I hope more people sign up. And then, hey, maybe if you fish one of the tributaries, I guess there's good muskie fishing there too. So maybe you'll catch a muskie if you've never caught one, or your PB or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's you definitely a place to do it. That's for sure.
I caught my PB smallmouth there last year. So.
Yeah, they're
There you
freaks.
go.
They're just balloons.
Why are you hanging on to that fun fact so long?
Yeah.
What a great story.
I mean, it is upriver.
Come on, huh?
It is upriver a little bit more compared to what we were last year, but if you're fishing, to St. Lawrence, you'll be able to fish shoals, just not first, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you'll be able to fish
your
similar
connection
stuff,
sucks.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was me at first.
It took me a minute. I thought I was also messing with us. He may have just quit. We don't know.
Yeah, I did derailed the whole podcast. Sorry, guys.
And hopefully it was entertaining. But it's gonna be a good one. We're excited. We're getting up there. So one thing that we need to do, that we should remind everybody about, won't be too many people. The 19 who have signed up, please let us know when you'll be up there, and if you're okay with it, where you'll be fishing, so we can get some interviews. There's probably going to be a little bit of driving in this one, so if the earlier we know, the better. That'll be for coordinating for us, so we can get some content. We want to feature people who haven't been on yet. We want to prioritize that first, and get some interviews and so on, and hopefully you all have a good time. But it's like we get on the water Thursdays and Fridays, so we'll get on the water with you. We can get some on the water footage, hopefully some catches. Private message us on Facebook if you can. That way you're not giving up your spot. Like if you're going to pre-fishing a certain spot, doesn't have to be where you're going to fish for the tournament. We can meet you if you're just trying to exploring some areas, whatever. And we try to stay out of your way as much as possible. And, so so they are going to, so Jake Stem, good point. There are likely going to be some Elite Series anglers, Bassmaster Elite Series anglers up there pre-fishing. Be courteous. I know some of them aren't. Some of them are nice. Some of them aren't. If you meet Seth Fighter, you're going to be talking to him for a while because it's awesome. But also let me know where he is. And but be respectful as always. Obviously, those guys are trying to, they're trying to make a living. They're trying to make money, or they're trying to be successful like we are. So, So not pre-fishing. Yes, Thursday to Sunday. Thank you, everybody. I messed up. It's been a long day. There's been plenty of mistakes in this episode. But anyway, but please just let us know where you're at. We'll get some interviews. Maybe we'll get some interviews with them. Get some of the Elite Series rub on the broadcast. We'll see. Although our broadcast has been great, it's been really fun. So hopefully this one, I'm sure this one will be no different. No matter how many people are in it, I'm sure there'll be a lot of movement on the leaderboard and stuff to talk about. Last year we saw some really interesting Amish folks, some really curved buildings. Really warped, odd buildings. If you remember last year, we ate at that diner. I actually just had a reminder on my phone about that, like a Facebook memory or something, and it was just a picture of this warped wall, and kind of brought it all back. So anyway,
it was a year ago today that we were on the water for the tournament.
Really?
Yeah, I got that memory today.
That's funny. No pirates this time. Is there
no
pirates?
pirates?
No, I don't think so.
No,
it's usually Alexander Bay, right?
I think it was last weekend. The Pirates.
Yeah. I missed all that, but the Van's transmission's turning a year old. She's still shifting smooth. I'm happy to report. Anyway, not that anyone cared about that, but
also, if you guys feel like it, send us pictures. DM us our pictures of your catches. Of you holding up a giant football-sized smallie, we could use that stuff for the broadcast. And I know you guys will be catching them because they're in there. So I'm expecting at least a couple good pictures.
Oh, for sure. I mean, send us all that stuff. If we can use any of it, we will. Bruce, last year was a great time. That was a good house last year. Yeah. It was a good time despite the issues we had. So anyway, okay.
So I have one thing real quick. I know it's next month.
New guys calling the shots.
Yeah. With the Kennebec River, I got a lot of buddies up here that have been fishing it, and they've been doing great. So if there are any Maine guys watching this broadcast, let's get signed up and let's represent up here. We got a lot of anglers up here, and I've been the only Mainer besides my wife, I think, pretty much doing it. So
it'd be nice to see. There's a lot of really great, talented fishermen in Maine. That's for sure. And for those that aren't convinced about the Kennebec, you really ought to take a look around Facebook and stuff. according to Mike, the guy he used to work at Snow Pond. Now he works for a Chamber of Commerce. He's a guide, also a fishing guide, also in the area. He said this season there's been the most 5 or 6 pound bass pulled out of the Kennebec that he's ever seen. So, whoa! So just to point out the Kennebec.
What I miss?
Everything. All right, guys. Have a good night.
I mean, you have a very entertaining portion of this podcast where you were totally connected to it the entire time.
Was I? So
oh yeah, you were there the whole time.
It was weird. It was for me. It was like John froze, and then he went black. This whole square went black, and then he would pop on, and then Chris would go black, and then you would go black, and then I would, and it just kept bouncing back and forth. I'm like, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's good to know you talk to yourself all the time. I mean, that's good to know.
So everybody could hear me, but
yeah, the entire time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, it was great. We were trying to talk, and then you kept like cutting in. And it was classic comedy. It should be anyway. But we are kind of wrapping up like that.
Oh,
we weren't wrapping up that abruptly, but
perfect.
Chris was giving a shout out to the Susquehanna and encouraging some Maine folks to show up. The Kennebec. Sorry, I'm getting 1 year ahead of myself. All right. Well, I hope to see you all at St. Lawrence again. If you have a place you're pre-fishing that you'd like to do some interviews, maybe some on the water stuff with us, Thursday, Friday, whatever, private message either EKF, the group page, or us individually. We'll try to organize and coordinate. We may not be able to get to you. We got to kind of divide and conquer, and this is going to be a big stretch, a big area that are in bounds this time. So we won't be able to hop around like we did at Winnipesaukee as much. So please communicate with us. We're happy to do it. Yeah, this is all the footage we take, and that we get. You can use it. You can have it. It's not anything that we would take from you, but we're going to use it for our broadcast. But you're also welcome to use it for your own stuff as well. So it's not just like a one-way thing. We're happy to share it. So anyway,
and I know you guys want a video of a drone footage of you catching a 5-pound smallie. So let us know so we can come and catch it.
Cool. All right, we good?
I think I'm going to end it with just the schedule again because it's that ridiculous.
Yeah, all right.
All right. I'm going to end it with this, guys. Have a wonderful night.